use social media. But we also noticed that in your findings, right, there's been an increase in the number of Facebook users in recent years. So do you offer any explanation for that?
This happened.
Yeah.
Yes. Of course, there are quite a few reasons. Like, for instance, in my case, I teach at a university where people study foreign languages. Like, my students study English and international relations. I'd say maybe 95% of my students are on Facebook. Because it's the best way of, or one of the most convenient ways of communicating with their friends overseas or making friends overseas. But there are a few reasons. Like, first of all, recently many companies started using Facebook because it gives a lot of opportunities to market their products and services. Like, for instance, if you search on Google for media campaigns, Facebook campaigns, and Twitter campaigns in Japanese characters, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you see me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
Right,
So
and clear.
if you search on like Google, first, I just actually right before you called me, I searched on Google for the number of posts or number of web entries that were posted in the past 7 days in Japan, and I searched for like Facebook campaigns, Twitter campaigns, and mixed campaigns. And Twitter campaigns was about 6,000, and Facebook campaigns was about 1,700, and Mixi campaign was like 20. Because Mixi doesn't give you many opportunities to market your product or service, like different applications or sweepstakes, contests, and those kind of stuff. While you have these options on Twitter and Facebook. So Facebook is like a marketing machine. It's like, if you think from a digital marketer point of view, it's like you're an Alice in Wonderland, because you can do millions of different things on Facebook to market your brand or product or service, while you cannot do that on other platforms. And you can definitely do this on Twitter, but still Facebook gives you more opportunities. So if you think about this, if you think about thousands of different companies are inviting their fans to join them on Facebook, that means thousands of free advertisers for Facebook has been living in Japan. So that's one of the reasons, because all companies are telling their consumers to follow them on Facebook. Let me give you an example. If all companies are telling their fans to join them on Facebook, if all bloggers are writing about Facebook, and if there are all news stories how Facebook is gaining momentum in Japan, it's natural that that service is going to be adopted. So I think that's one of the reasons. Companies are pushing this a lot. Brands are pushing this a lot. And also, there is a buzz around Facebook, but there's not much buzz around Mixi. And actually, following social media blogs in Japan, I'd say Facebook gets 5 times more exposure than Twitter. But one of the reasons for that is some of those bloggers, some of the content creators on the web are Facebook consultants. Basically, they make money. And let me give you an example. Right after the Tokyo earthquake, if you read my paper, I talked about how people use Twitter after the earthquake. And there are many stories of how people got saved by using Twitter. But there's no story of someone getting saved by Facebook. And first of all, people in the earthquake areas didn't use Facebook back then. But these these bloggers, these Facebook consultants, always reflected as how social media helped after the total earthquake, even though that social media did not include Facebook back then. So that also helps. All these bloggers are actually Facebook consultants, and if Facebook is adopted well in Japan, they're going to get benefit out of it. And they're pushing this artificial because we know that there are more Twitter users in Japan right now. It's for sure. No one can doubt it. Yeah. If you look at daily active users, influential users, number of messages, number of status updates, Twitter is higher than Facebook. But in the media, it gets equal time, or Facebook is focused on more. So that's one of the things why Facebook is gaining momentum right now.
So do you have any recommendations for companies who are trying to use social media to market their products and services and via different channels on social media?
Yes, in Japan, this definitely depends on your target market. For instance, if your product is something that appeals to someone, let's say, who's interested in Singapore, right? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, let's say someone who's interested in Singapore, or someone who wants to travel to Singapore and see Merlion and have some fun. That person might be using Facebook because that person might have some foreign friends. And if you have a foreign friend, it's like I say, if you're a Japanese and if you have some foreign friends, there's maybe 90% chance that you're going to be on Facebook. So to target that person, it's good to use Facebook. And I don't want to talk about what you can do on Facebook because you can do millions of things on Facebook. But if you're targeting, let's say, housewives in their 30s or 40s, as I mentioned, social media penetration is quite low in Japan. It's still around 50 or 60%. And when we had some focus groups with housewives, they told us that it's mendokusai. That means it's troublesome to use social media. So they don't want to be doing that. And you can use YouTube or blogs to target those housewives. And also in our study, we found out that to get new customers, Twitter might be very effective because people are more likely to write about their brand experiences on Twitter than Facebook, according to our study.
I think from one of your findings, you actually said that there was a decreasing level of anonymity in the use of social media. And so could you offer some explanations in why is this so? Particularly in Japan.
Actually, my findings indicate that there's a very small level of decrease. Like, for instance, now people think, Japanese people are not concerned about anonymity anymore. But the reality is they are. Like 70 or 80% of them are not a great fan of revealing their real names and revealing their real pictures, according to our study. But in our study, that's what we asked. Okay, we said, how do you feel about the real name policy? Are you strongly against, or strongly against, or you're okay, or you support it? And 80% were like strongly against or against it. But we also asked, okay, how do you feel about this 1 year ago? Because 1 year ago, Facebook had maybe 1/3 or a quarter of what it has today, and like a lower number of people using Twitter and Google Plus did not exist. So we asked, okay, how do you feel about this a year ago then? And the results were almost the same. So that means it's quite difficult for us to claim that people are not people are less worried about anonymity, but it's just slightly decreased. I mean, they're getting less worried about anonymity because I mean they've been using it and they see there are not any side effects, there is not any downside of it. There are some advantages, and their their attitudes have been changing. But it's a very small process, and it's not like what some other people claim. Oh, Japanese people are not worried about anonymity anymore. So that's not true.
So is this?
But compared with a year ago, they're just slightly less concerned about it. Very slightly.
So the result isn't very significant in that sense.
To conclude that they are.
Result is not significant.
In your opinion, would it be likely that this actually continues? So that would, in that sense, work in favor for social media?
I definitely guess so because the more you're exposed to it, and the more you see other people are doing it, so you're gonna feel more comfortable about it. So it's not about social media. It's about like human psychology. If you might be concerned about smoking, but if you see everybody around you smoking, you might have better attitudes about smoking because you see people are doing that, and you think it's not that bad because everybody's doing it. So more people have been using Facebook, more people have been using real names, and they're going to think it's normal. And also, they see that they don't get hurt, or there are not any side effects, or there are not any big side effects, negative things about Facebook or real name policy, and they might improve their attitudes. Yes, I think it's going to be, people are going to be less worried about anonymity in the future.